Hello, friends. The 1,253 day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Deep State confirms the advance of Russians near the border of the Dnipropetrovsk region in the area of Voskresenka and Maliivka. On the map, the gray zone is already in the territory of the Dnipropetrovsk region, that is, fighting is already underway there. Let me remind you that the Bild publication and the Russian Ministry of Defense have already announced the capture of the village of Maliivka in this area. Ukraine has not confirmed this. A Ukrainian soldier with the call sign Muchnoy writes today that the situation in the Maliivka area is complex and dynamic. Our guys carried out counterattacks. There were reports of partial displacement of the enemy. Today, the village is in the gray zone. We partially control it. There are battles for the surrounding area, especially for the heights and landings around. The enemy is trying to hold on to what has been captured, but is being rebuffed, so it is too early to talk about the complete loss of Maliivka, wrote Muchnoy. At the same time, on the Deep State map, Maliivka is not even in the gray zone yet. Further south, but already in the Zaporizhzhia region, the Russian Ministry of Defense yesterday announced the capture of Temyrivka and published a video with their flags from there. The Deep State map, after the latest update, confirms the enemy's advance here. The enemy has advanced south of Kostiantynivka, near Yablunivka and Oleksandro-Kalynove. I note that the Russians say that they have already captured both villages. A Ukrainian officer with the call sign Alex reported that near Kostiantynivka, the Russians managed to advance as far as the settlement of Temyrivka, which is listed on the Deep State map as under the control of the Ukrainian armed forces. To a certain extent, this is an alarming signal for the situation in the direction, especially in the area of the reservoir, writes Alex. Also, the Ukrainian military in Kostiantynivka told CNN about the shortage of personnel. The commander of the 93rd Mechanized Brigade, Vasily, says that he has not been sent reinforcements for 8 months. We have a catastrophic shortage of personnel. Nobody wants to fight. The war is over for them. The old personnel remain, they are tired and want a replacement, but no one is giving them a replacement. We are tired. Everyone is tired of this war, and I believe that other countries are also tired of helping us, says the military man. He also said that much is not reported and hidden, and a serious problem is poor communication with the front line about the essence of military problems. We do not report much to our state. Our state does not report much to the people, believes Vasily. Developing this topic, I would like to quote the words of the People's Deputy Mazarashu, who said that many soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine at the front are so burnt out that they perceive death as a relief. He believes that this is a consequence of our idiotic, slave-owning Soviet system, which is predominantly prevalent in the armed forces of Ukraine. When the basic command perceives the military as their slaves, slaves of the system, the army, the state. And it does not take into account that some of these heroes, who have been defending their homeland with weapons for a long time, and many have been wounded, are so burnt out that their ability to perform any tasks is, to put it mildly, very low. Doctors say that they say, "We don't care anymore whether I die or not." For them, dying is a relief, says Mazarashu. Let me remind you that Zelensky said in Parliament that the military will be demobilized only after victory. In response to this statement by Zelensky, military man Yaroslavsky wrote that this sounds like a death sentence for hundreds of thousands of people. This is important for everyone who has children and more than 9 lives to live again to realize. Isn't this the question that is being asked in thousands of Ukrainian families today? I imagine all these deputies standing in front of the combat brigades near Pokrovsk, looking into the eyes of exhausted and tired soldiers who have been living in frontline villages since 2022 like homeless people in basements and cellars, without rotations, without clear prospects, without understanding when this will end, writes Yaroslavsky. He mentions the Reuters news about the launch of the Test in Ukraine program, within the framework of which foreign companies will be officially allowed to test their latest weapons on the front line in Ukraine. In his opinion, everything that is happening is turning our country into a testing ground, when our cities, our fields, our soldiers become objects for testing. The Russians have also advanced north between Kostiantynivka and Pokrovsk. There is a retreat of the Ukrainian armed forces north of Maliivka towards Rodinsky, Deep State reports. The Ukrainian armed forces near Pokrovsk and Maliivka risk being surrounded, the military tells the Ukrainian media. It is noted that over the past 3 months, the Russian advance on the Pokrovsk-Kostiantynivka highway has stretched into a gut of more than 10 kilometers, which now forms an eastern pincer to encompass both cities at once. Fighting has been going on at the mine near Rodinsky for several days now, and the first group of Russians has also penetrated into the urban development of the settlement. At the same time, the Russians are trying to reach Novi Shakhovy, located 7 kilometers from Dnipropetrovsk. In general, the Russians' goal does not change. It is to encircle Pokrovsk from 3 sides, cut off roads and logistics routes, isolate the city, and then gradually tighten the ring and enter Pokrovsk itself without a large-scale frontal assault, but through attrition and maneuvers, writes the fighter Muchnoy.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.